Today's podcast is brought to you by Audible. Get a free audiobook download and a free 30-day trial when you visit audibletrial.com/teacherrecharge. Over 180,000 titles to choose from for your iPhone, Android, Kindle, or MP3 player. Just go to audibletrial.com/teacherrecharge today. My name is Fred Koepp. I'm the host of the Teacher Recharge podcast, and this last Monday was my beautiful wife Emma's birthday. So you should bombard her on Instagram. I believe it's just Emma Koepp, all one word, Koepp, and let her know that you're thinking about her. Blow her Instagram up. Why not? All right, let's get started into the show. Hello, Teacher Recharge listeners. Welcome back to another edition of the Teacher Recharge podcast, the only podcast on the internet, hosted by me, Fred Koepp. Today's episode features Nick Rhodes, the man himself, one of my very, very good friends, a sweet tea loving man, just like me. He used to be a para. And he loved it so dang much, he decided to go to school. So he's actually back in school now, studying to be a special education teacher. And man, it was a good episode. It actually took place a few months back, so it follows the old format, but it was really good. We have a live in-studio audience that consists of 2 glasses of sweet tea. What more can you ask for from a studio audience? But anyways, you'll understand once this gets going. So I'll shut up and let you enjoy the interview with me and Nick Rhodes. Enjoy. Hello, Teacher Recharge listeners. Welcome to another edition of the Teacher Recharge podcast. And I have sitting right across from me, I cannot lie, I have one of my best good friends. Best good friends. That's it. Words are hard. It's Nick Rhodes. Everybody give it up for Nick Rhodes.
Thanks for having me, Fred, man. Yeah. It's really good to see you, man.
That's our live studio audience. If you just heard that, it's 2 glasses of sweet tea. One of them completely gone at this point.
Yeah, I drank it real quick. It was good. We had lunch before this, and my sweet tea had to go with it.
When I drink things, I drink them. Doesn't matter if it's water. Doesn't matter if it's Coke. Doesn't matter what it is. I drink it at about a snail's pace. It takes me about 4 hours to finish anything I start, which means everything I drink is watered down if it has ice in it.
Yeah, his tea was brown, and now it's a light tan color, if you will.
Still good though. Still good. Still tastes good. I would stand by that statement. So Nick and I go way back.
Yeah, we do.
Yeah, way back. It's
way back.
All good. But for everyone that doesn't know you, tell us a little bit about yourself. What's your background in education? What are you passionate about? All that good stuff.
Yeah, so I was a para for about a year and a half, so I worked in education. I currently am in school for special education. Just graduated from Friends with my bachelor's in liberal arts, not a great degree, but the plan is to go to Fort Hays and continue my education through their special education program. I have a spot set up at a school, possibly, if I can get into that program.
Yeah. I
was in the military for a while, did construction, I've worked at Starbucks. You name it, I've kind of had that job. I'm a jack of all trades.
You've also had like your own businesses too, yeah?
Yeah, I owned part of a bar. It was a sporting bar, or a soccer bar here in Wichita. Called Sporting Casey's. We lasted for a good 8 months. It was horrible. And then I was part owner of a videography company. We made some commercials around town, but we were not successful.
What I admire about Nick across from me is you look at that, and in my opinion, you use that to grow and say, what's my next step? And that shows what type of person we're dealing with today on the show. Because that is unbelievably respectable, super cool, and I'm actually really curious to kind of get into some of that, but it's also not a business podcast.
For sure.
But
yeah.
With that said, I feel like you learn a lot from experiences like that, don't you? Yes?
You do. I mean, I've had to go in knowing that we were going to fail as a company. I went into that bar every single day knowing we weren't making money. The big owners just gave away drinks. They gave away food. Mm-hmm. It was just going in a poor direction. And I kept going, knowing that we were going to fail. And it's something that you got to like always, the saying is like bootstraps. What is that saying, Fred?
Grab it by the bootstraps.
Grab by the bootstraps. You just go in and like work your butt off because you want to be successful.
Yeah.
And sometimes it just doesn't work. And with this, just with that bar as an example, like I went in every day, worked my butt off.
Right.
I was restocking the bar all the time, restocking the food all the time, and it just seemed to dwindle, and we weren't making money from it. So I kept going, trying to be successful with it. And eventually, you just have to look at something and say, hey, this is done, and you have to leave it behind and try to go on to the next venture.
Right.
And so that's what I did with that.
I love that. Yeah. So here's my question then. So you end up as a para and working in special education.
Yeah.
And it sounds like you've maybe found your passion. So why? Why special education?
So my work with youth started when I was a little league baseball coach. And I love baseball. It's my favorite sport. Right. I played it all growing up.
Go Sox. Sorry.
I like the Sox. I like the Giants. It's a long story on why I like those two teams, but you know, Giants and the Red Sox are both having a crappy season this year. So I started coaching little league, and then I that was back when I lived in California. Then I moved to Wichita, and I had a friend named Wes who like spoke into my life a lot. He was a great guy, good Christian guy that I like to just. I want to try to exemplify some of his traits.
Right.
And one of the things he was doing at the time was a youth pastor. He's like, Nick, you volunteered with me. You'd be really good at this. I think you should attend Friends and pursue that. And that's where I started going to Friends. That's where Fred and I met, is at Friends. So I was going there. I was in the Christian Spiritual Formation program, and I got a job as a youth pastor. It was amazing. I loved it, but I had to deal with parents.
Right.
And parents don't necessarily agree with what you teach. I had some parents that would just send their kids there and be like, hey, you can't teach them about Jesus. I was like, but I'm at a church. Like, that's the point. So that started to wear on me, and I left that. I went and I started doing media. So I was the production director at several churches here in town. I was doing lights and sound, and it was great, and I was working with the kids. But I wasn't having the impact with them that I wanted.
Right.
So I left the church and started looking for something I could do with kids that didn't have a good male influence.
Right.
And somebody told me about becoming a para. And so I did that. I dropped out of school earlier to pursue the church because it was a really good paycheck and I loved doing it. And so I became a para and I started working with fifth graders. I had this one dude, he's amazing. And the strides I saw him make just blew my mind at what one person could do with a team to like just change a kid. Like, he wouldn't talk to anybody. He was socially awkward, and he's still socially awkward. I think we're all a little socially awkward.
Yeah, definitely.
But you could see his friends grow, and you could see his grades starting to grow. And then I left that school. That was elementary school, and I went to a high school, and I went to the positive behavior program, which is kids with autism or symptoms like that, and they're violent, or is it burst open? Yeah, they have
bursts.
Yeah, they have bursts. That's the way to say it. You could. I'm small. I'm a short guy.
Yeah,
but I take up a big part of a room.
And you know how to defend yourself.
I know how to. I was in the military for a while.
Exactly.
I learned all that stuff. But I have this presence when I walk into a room that I'm not somebody that you want to mess with. So I would go into these classes, and the kids, you could see a change in who they were, mostly because of what I look like. But I built these relationships with these kids who don't have these male influences, and you could see them maturing into adults is a strong word, but you could see the maturity level start to change.
Just to rise, yeah.
Yeah.
That's awesome. You know, so you mentioned you don't your appearance, so I just want to explain what's right in front of me. So what's right in front of me is a man with a really gnarly beard going on. In fact, I think your Twitter is Beard of Nick.
Twitter and Instagram, both Beard of Nick.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, like that.
You created a logo in a design class that was based around your beard.
Yeah, exactly. It's actually the same class where Table of Love was conceived.
Like our logo. Yeah,
we built those together. It was amazing.
That was legit, yeah. So, I mean, he's muscular as well. Like, you know, he looks like he could crack open your head just with his pinky.
I can.
But what's crazy and what I really enjoy about Nick is one of the most loving people on the planet. He's like a big teddy bear, like for real. Whenever
The
it's
secret's
been
out now.
whenever, yeah, I just put it out there. Yeah, so if we haven't seen each other in a while or whatever, it's always like he gives me a hug that's so hard that I think I break a few ribs every time, but it's okay because
I love Fred so much that I have to give him that hug. It's so much love that I have for this guy that I have to show him every time I see him.
It's awesome though, and I think that can be reflected onto your students, which is even more important. And I think by what you're saying, it already has. It already has.
Yeah, I mean,
to affect.
That's what I try to do. I feel like the most important thing in anybody's life is love.
Yeah.
And no matter what, you have to show that. Like I have bad days. I have a lot of bad days, Fred.
Right.
And working at the school was frustrating. I didn't love it because it takes a while to see that progress, right?
Right.
And so at the beginning, you're just like, it's wearing on me. It's wearing on me. And you just go in and you're sad. But then you see that one thing that the kid does, whether it's he turns a paper in for the first time or he's like actually excited to go to this one class. It changes and you start seeing that love that you've given them in your bad times showing up in them. And it's just amazing.
Yeah. And you said you didn't love it. Are you talking about the high school or the elementary? Because
the elementary school I didn't love. The high school, I loved it, but it wears on you.
Right. And I feel like that's kind of like every kind of job though. Like for example, I absolutely love coaching high school soccer. I don't honestly think I can think of anything else that I'd rather do. Maybe go into college eventually. I mean, I definitely want to go to college or like coach college eventually. I've already been to college.
Yeah.
But with that said, we just ended the girls season here because we're recording this at the beginning of the summer. It's like it ended and it just decompressed.
There's
tons of
always
weight
that
off the
component
shoulders,
with everything, I believe. Like you can love something, but it can still wear on you.
Yeah, and if you have passion for it, in my opinion, it should wear on you because that means you care.
Because it means it's affecting you.
Exactly.
And it could be in a positive or a negative way.
Definitely.
But if you love it, you'll always see the positive, even if it's affecting you negatively.
Exactly. You'll just be like, oh man, it wore on me. But at the end of the day, a couple of those girls at the banquet were saying, hey, you're one of the reasons why I'm going to college. And it's like, boom. Like, that's
an amazing feeling.
That's
right.
That's fantastic.
And that feeling came from them because you gave that feeling to them when you first met. You built that relationship. It's just like anything that you do is love and relationships.
Definitely. Which is what I try and talk about at school.
Yeah.
Little plug. Anyways, before we go to a little break here, I just kind of wanted to pick your brain about this. So this is a podcast that is all about helping teachers start their week off on the most positive note possible so that they can make an impact throughout the week. When you're getting ready for a week, do you have any rituals? Do you have anything that you take into your week that you're like, yeah, this is going to pump me up for the week. I'm going to hit the ground running.
So I always try to make sure I have a very good Sunday. And a good Sunday for me could be I spend the day in bed, or it could be I go and watch the new Avengers movie. It could just be anything that fills my I don't want to say spirit because that's not really spirit filled, right? But it's something that brings joy to my heart. And so I try to do that so that way the week starts joyous.
Right.
On Monday when I'm driving to work, I used to have I think it was a 30-minute to 45-minute drive. I'd always make sure I had a rockin' playlist or I had a good podcast to listen to that day.
Yeah.
Something that would just be positive and make me want to be a positive person.
Right.
Right.
Because then you get to school, you get to that place you're going, and you're just in a good mood. Actually, one of the things I do, I listen to a couple. And I know that hopefully this doesn't detract from my podcast, but if it does, whatever, if it helps you, that's all I care about. Is I do listen to a couple comedy podcasts that I listen to on my way to coaching. I listen to them on the way. They calm me down. They calm my anxiety. They get it to where I get to wherever I'm going and I'm in that positive, jokey mood.
Yeah.
And that, in my opinion, that space is where I work the best because my heart is in it. Whether I'm coaching Orange Theory or I'm coaching the high schoolers or I'm coaching my little 8-year-olds or 9-year-olds, my heart's in it. So if I can take that positivity and then mix it with the coaching, that's when we see progress and faster progress.
Yeah. And that's something I really love about you, Fred, is your heart's always in everything that you do. You're 100% at everything you do. You always put in that hustle. You always put in that work. And it shows. It shows.
Oh, my gosh. Goodness gracious. Hey, this is turning into a public hearing here. We don't need that. It's not a compliment Fred
I'm not
podcast.
trying to just give you I mean, we're exposing each other's secrets
definitely.
here is what it sounds like.
What's cool though is when you're saying that, you're giving me eye contact, and that's very intimidating.
It's because I love you, man. I gotta look deep into your eyes.
Oh, beautiful. Don't get lost. I'm just kidding.
I'm already there.
Oh my god. All right, well, we're going to go ahead and take a real quick break. We'll be right back after we thank a sponsor. For you, the listeners of the Teacher Recharge podcast, Audible is offering a free audiobook download with a free 30-day trial to give you the opportunity to check out their service. Whenever I do a show that has a guest on it, I ask them for a book recommendation. So, Nick, what would be your recommendation?
I don't necessarily have a book recommendation, but I have a person recommendation. I read, or I listen to when I read a lot of Nick Offerman from Parks and Rec. He played Ron Swanson. Right now I'm listening to Good Clean Fun. It's about woodworking. It's something I'm trying to get into. But he also reads Tom Sawyer. And it is amazing listening to him read Tom Sawyer.
That is awesome. Well, if you want a copy of that, or you want to listen to anything by Tim Offerman, you can go to Nick Offerman. I said Tim. I heard Tom, and then that switched. I mixed Nick with Tim, and it's a whole thing. But anyways, you can go to audibletrial.com/teacher recharge. Once again, that's audibletrial.com/teacher recharge for your free 30-day trial and free audiobook download. Back to the show. And we are back.
Finally.
Boom. Oh my gosh. I feel like we were gone for like 12. You know what? Because I edit this podcast, they wouldn't know. We could have just like left for 3 weeks and come back.
We could have, man.
You would have never known.
Nope.
I'm going to try and predict the future. So it's a really rainy day today. Or when we recorded this the first time, it was super windy and rainy, but now it's beautiful, sunny, and actually we're now on a beach
In Hawaii.
Wow. Crazy.
It's amazing.
Listen to the birds. I mean, it's beautiful. Tears in my eyes. And guess who's still here?
The sweet tea. Same cups. Same cups, same ice, everything.
Oh my God.
We took them with us on this trip.
What a show. We're back on the interview with Nick Rhodes, and it is my favorite time of the episode. This part, even with the new season, I cannot get over. This is my favorite part of the week. Maybe it's your favorite part of the week. It is story time. It is story time. If you haven't listened to this podcast before, it is the moment in the show where I let the guest have the floor. They can tell any story they want. It can be sad. It could be depressing. It could be happy. It could be comedic. It could be downright flipping embarrassing. It could be harmful. It could honestly throw our government under the bus and overthrow the entire world. It could it could prove that there's an Illuminati. I don't care. Whatever they want to say, it is what it is. So with that said, Nick, you have the floor. It's story time.
Thinking about it, I think I actually have a story for each one of those situations.
Specifically,
though, I'm going to tell an embarrassing story. Not about me, but about a professional soccer player that I know named Fred Koepp. So Fred, Seth, and I think Jacob. Was it Jacob?
And Jacob was there.
And Jacob. So they're all Friends University soccer players. We're on a mission trip in Houston, Texas. And we're playing horse with soccer balls. And I'm actually losing pretty poorly. And we're getting ready to go. I think it was lunch. We're getting ready to go to lunch or somewhere. And I set this kick up to a garbage can. Like I think I hit it off the wall and into a garbage can. Totally by accident. I'm not good at soccer. They all know this. And none of them can make the shot. So a guy who's never played soccer in his life beat a professional, Fred Koepp.
Oh my God.
And then 2 college players at the game of horse. It was I would say a big victory.
Oh my God. When it happened, I was like, I'm never going to be able to live this down.
It's been like 6 years.
For real, though.
And I still tell this story.
Yeah, and it's true. I'm never going to be able to live this down. You know what's crazy is you were hitting some crazy shots, though.
I was. I don't know why.
There was like one that went off of 3 walls and in a trash can. I swear. It was.
That's the one. I think that's the one that I'm talking about. I thought it was one wall.
No.
But yeah.
Dude, it was like pinball, boing, and I was like, what is going on?
I can't believe it.
It was insane.
It is the highlight of my soccer career.
Honestly, I can't believe you weren't on SportsCenter.
I've
That's
actually
a top 10 moment for
I've had film on SportsCenter.
Oh, really?
For FC Wichita.
Oh, yeah. The long goal, yeah.
Mark Weir's top goal of the season.
Mark Weir, great guy.
He is a great guy.
I just saw him the other day, actually.
You guys still play together? Or?
No, I'm not playing with FC Wichita anymore, but I did see him at the soccer field. He's a fantastic person.
That's awesome.
But, yeah, no, that, I might have to edit that.
No,
that
you can't edit that out.
That story.
I could tell a different story.
You know, I could take where you say Fred and then replace it with where you say I and then...
I.
So Fred won.
What if you replace it with like Landon Donovan? That would be a better story.
Oh, to where I turn you into Landon?
No, where you turn you into Landon Donovan, and I beat Landon Donovan at
ours. So I'm not even there.
No.
So I didn't.
That way you're not embarrassed.
But so I didn't meet Landon Donovan?
Well, you were there meeting him. You just weren't in the game before.
But see, if Landon Donovan is there, and you beat Landon Donovan at horse.
Yeah.
Then that means you beat Landon Donovan, who's actually like a big-time professional.
I'm a professional soccer player.
I agree.
The men's national team should be calling me.
No, I 100% agree. But that makes it way less embarrassing for me to lose.
Exactly. So you were part of the game too. Landon Donovan was there now.
Yeah, he was definitely there.
Tim Howard watched.
With his big forehead. Sorry, I'm just kidding.
And he doesn't have as good a beard as I do.
Who?
Tim Howard.
Tim Howard. No, definitely not. Definitely not.
No.
And his team's not very good either.
I don't even know who he plays for anymore.
The Rapids.
Oh, yeah, they're horrible.
Yeah, they're not good.
No.
I applied for a job there, and they said I was overqualified.
You probably were. You're Fred, man.
Oh, my goodness. Well, we're almost at the end of this show.
Yep.
So, if people want to kind of follow your success, see where life takes you, or ask you any questions or open up a dialogue with you, how in the flip could they even think about doing that?
Yeah, Twitter and Instagram are both Beard of Nick. I think if you have any kind of social media, it's Beard of Nick, Snapchat, what have you. I don't know what else I have. I'm an old man, so.
Good enough for me.
Great.
You can also hit us up on social media as well at Teacher Recharge. What's cool about all of that, though, is we'll give links in the description to all of that good stuff. So, with that said, Nick, honestly, this has been a long time coming.
Yeah.
And I'm glad that the sweet teas could actually make it today. It was really, that's been the hard thing, is not finding when we could get together.
Yeah, exactly.
It's been mostly like trying to make the sweet teas schedule work out.
And I just want to say, this is McAllister's sweet tea, but we have a competition coming up where we're going to make sweet tea against each other.
Yeah.
And see who has the best sweet tea recipe.
And so here's the the big issue with that. You know, I'm a pretty honest person.
Yeah.
So like I am totally willing to do the sweet tea off or whatever and have us as the taste testers, but here's the problem.
We need somebody else.
We do need someone else.
It can't be Emma.
But it definitely can't be Emma because she doesn't even like sweet tea.
Well, that
and then also there's really nobody in Wichita that I know of besides you
that likes sweet tea like we do.
That understands what good sweet tea tastes like.
I think I can get somebody.
Okay.
Yeah.
But then it's suspect if I don't know them.
That's true.
It's got to be a mutual person.
Who do we know from friends?
Okay, so here's the deal. If you're out there, go ahead, email me, teacherrechargepodcast@gmail.com. Let me know that you want to be a taste tester, and we'll send it to you in the mail in an envelope. A little bit of my sweet tea, a little bit of his sweet tea.
Same package.
It'll be there within 7 to 12 business days because I'm not paying for the expensive packaging.
Might be dehydrated.
Yeah, it might be a little by then, but I mean, like, whatever.
Just lick it,
and then just lick the post or whatever, and just let us know what you think.
Or if you're in Wichita or the surrounding area,
that's probably what it
surrounding area. You could just let us know. And we will try to get you here when we're going to do this competition.
Oh, yeah, that's actually a much more logical thing.
And it would be even better if you knew the both of us because then we couldn't say the other one grabbed somebody.
Yeah, that's true. That is true. Unless, I mean, like, that's why you got to email, though. Because then I could prove that it was a listener.
That's true.
You know?
So I think we're looking at Cameron.
Cameron Rhodes. Ooh, Seth could do it.
He could.
Seth understands it, too.
He does.
I've taught him.
I think
I've
Seth
taught
will
him
choose
ways.
yours, though, because you guys are way closer than him and I are.
Ooh, that might be true, though. Seth, you're a cheater.
He's still mad about the soccer story, too.
Yeah, probably.
So he's going to choose you.
He's definitely going to choose me. So, last season, we had a weekly challenge each week, and I gave it.
Okay.
Here's the thing. I want the guest to give it now. So what if you had one, and it doesn't have to be necessarily a challenge for our listeners, to take into the week. It could be a positive thing. It could be anything.
I have a good one.
What's
so what I've noticed about working in a school is parents are only called for negative things. I think a teacher should try to call a parent for a positive thing for one of their students each week.
Yes, sweet. So
I think that'd be great.
That came up last season as well, which is that idea.
I probably got it from listening.
Yeah, no,
that's where I got that idea.
That's such a good idea, though, and let's make that the challenge.
Yeah,
then.
I think that's a great challenge.
One kid this week.
Yeah,
just pick up a phone
and then
let their parents know.
Tweet us and let us know how it went.
Heck yeah, we'd both love to know.
Yeah.
At Beard of Nick, and then comma at Teacher Recharge.
Yeah,
you could also send it to the Instagram. We'd love to hear about it. Hey, Nick. Freaking awesome episode.
It was so good to be here.
Super
I've been
fun.
waiting for this, man.
This was
Thank
awesome.
you.
Literally stoked. All right. Well, have a wonderful Monday.